Good evening and welcome to the special called council meeting. We ask that you please silence all devices. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to this special called meeting. I'll call us to order.
Mayor and council, we have one item, and that is 230612, and we have two speakers, Mayor.
Thank you. And this is pertaining to a resolution nominating candidate or candidates for Tarrant Appraisal District Board of Directors. Our first speaker is by phone, Adrian Smith, followed by Gerald Miller.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Yes, Adrian Smith. I am one with the people. As it relates to this particular board appointment, I don't see the candidate present, but however, I want to say to the candidate, Mr. Blaylock, all the best in regards to this particular appointment. I know that he will serve the TAD board well. I believe that with all of the controversy that the TAD board had recently experienced, that it's always befitting to put in positive change for anything as it relates to making things better. And considering Mr. Blaylock 2 weeks ago was the only council member who was willing to take a stance on the property tax rate that you all proposed, I think his constituents would be appreciative of his service, and I think that Mr. Blaylock will be he will serve well in his position. Now, as it relates to where we currently find ourselves tonight, with you all not being able to have a scheduled public comments meeting, as it speaks to the quorum you all put out regarding not having the quorum, as I'm looking at the council, how many individuals are needed to have the meeting? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 members there.
Adrian,
so how many individuals?
Yeah, stick to topic. Just so you know, most of us are going to Bethel this evening for the vigil. That's why we canceled public comment. Yeah,
it's very relevant to the individual who asked the question. It's very relevant because you all work for us. We don't work for you, so it's very relevant to the individual who asked the question. Thank you.
I answered your question.
No, the individual. I heard you ask the question. Is it relevant? I heard we asked him that. Mayor, you're tripping like you always do. But anyway, we will not let up. We will continue forward in our efforts, in our desires of accountability. Again, thank you, Mr. Blaylock, for being. Thank you again, Mr. Blaylock, for being the only individual to take a stance on something that's important to the people. And Mr. Larsdorf, SIE.
Time's expired. Mr. Miller, the floor is yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just got to address Mr. Adrian Smith for a second. Sir, your conduct is unbecoming the African-American community, and you need to stop the shenanigans, bro. Period. I know you're the only person watching this probably, so you hear what I'm saying to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go into my record. It's been extensive. I've emailed every one of you, although I've gotten no acknowledgments from any of you that you received my email. That's a bit perturbing, but be that as it may, there are issues with TAD that I don't think is beyond the grass. I mean, it's beyond the grass of many of you. I know the issues well because I've been at every board meeting for the last 2 years. I've been part of the community that rose up when we went to TAD 500 strong and protested against the unlawful acts. TAD does not have, as a governmental body, it does not have any operating policy procedures and manuals as required by most governmental organizations. I fought with 2 years to try to get Jeff Law to institute that. He would not. Their technology system is a front. It's an outdated technology system with no forward-facing ability to update that in consistent with modern protocols for software development. That's an issue. The conduct of staff, where they do their training just by sitting a person down with somebody else and training them one-on-one. There's no institutional memory. That's been a problem in getting protocols enforced to change that. I've been on the ground fighting for these issues for the last 2 years to make some change. And although we've made changes, not only in the community of Tarrant County, but the city of Fort Worth, more changes need to be made. This new opportunity to have a chief appraiser come in needs somebody who's up to speed to hire the right person, somebody that has a background in establishing best practices for nonprofit or large-scale organizations, and somebody who understands the technological aspects of software development, of creating best practices for business to evolve themselves in the future to better serve the citizens of Fort Worth. I believe that if you look at the Star-Telegram, everything in that article says that I'm the best person, and I ask for your votes. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald, for attending. Go ahead, Councilmember Crane.
Mr. Miller, I really appreciate your dedication for service. I can speak to the email, but I actually did meet with you and Ms. Geiger about all of this. So I just want to set the record straight that can't speak to your email exactly, but I know my office did respond, and I did spend time with you about this, correct? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Council, that's the conclusion of our speakers this
no.
evening.
Mayor,
Yes, Joanna, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to respectfully acknowledge Mr. Miller. I did let him know that I really preferred a CPA in this role. I appreciate his zeal, his steadfastness. I'm not familiar with his body of work, but I am supporting Councilmember Blaylock, who brings with him the entire force of City Hall to assist him in this role. But I respect my constituent, and hate that there is a disconnect in terms of supported not. But I feel comfortable with Councilmember Blaylock recommending with this body. I'm on medication, but I just wanted to state I did let him know my preference was a CPA, and Blaylock with the city forces is the next best thing for me.
Thank you, Councilmember Bivens. Can I consider that a motion for approval?
Please.
Okay. We've got a motion in several seconds. Thank you. Before we vote, I just wanted to acknowledge former Councilmember and Mayor Pro Tem Jungus Jordan, who has done an excellent job serving in this role. He did decline nomination. He was ready to really fully retire and did not want to run again for the Tarrant Appraisal District Board, but we really appreciate his service. He's worked incredibly hard. And to citizens like Mr. Miller, you have been an excellent steward to make sure that our appraisal district is doing the right thing, and there are concerns there. And while we may be supporting our fellow council member, I hope that you'll find an ally and someone that you can rely on to ask the right questions, Mr. Miller, and for other citizens for that matter. This is maybe something that's not been done before, but the law allows us to appoint a council member for this time period to make sure we have a better connection between the city of Fort Worth, our taxpayers, and the appraisal district as well. With that, I think we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other comments from council? No, we can vote. It's from Gina and from Charlie. Motion carries. Council, I believe that's the conclusion of our meeting. Meeting adjourned.